Alright, this is my response to Jasmine's post. I also, like Jasmine, really liked this article about, basically, I thought a lot of it focused on Latino, bridging the gap between Latino students and um, teachers who are predominantly white female middle class teachers. Um, but I think this article would be good for any race. I think it's important to bridge the gap between the teachers and students because, especially how Joseph keeps saying, like, our classrooms are going to be so diverse by the time we end up actually teaching in the classrooms. The classrooms that a lot of us grew up in, at least for me, predominantly white. I mean, I didn't really see any race at all in my school. So a lot of the things, or one of the things that I worry about as a teacher is how am I going to be able to connect with my students if I don't know personally and authentically about their culture, and I don't want to just know like the tourist culture, like the big festivals that they have, and like um I don't even know, Mexicans. Like, if I quickly pictured a Mexican in my head, to be honest, I would picture someone with a sombrero on and like a brightly colored dress. I mean, I don't want to know about just the stereotypical things that their cultures do. I want to know about how to actually connect with them and how to make it seem real to my students and not like I'm just a superficial teacher. Um, so it talked a lot about, or the book mentioned something about how the workshops that these teachers um, attended, they talked about, like, should you talk about the students that are like in some of these books, some of the kids in these books had like migrated illegally across the border to come to America or that kind of thing, and like how do you handle that in the classroom? And I honestly was thinking about it, and I have no idea how I would handle that in the classroom. So I actually really hope that's something that we talk about in class tomorrow because I'm not sure how I would respond to that. There are a couple more questions in there, and if I get the chance tomorrow, I'll say them in class, but I didn't know how I would respond. I think a lot of the things that you should talk about in class to your students because, I mean, if you don't talk about it, they're probably never going to know. So I remember writing one paper actually that was like, um, if you, where was I going with this? It's like you just have to talk about the cultures and you have to be realistic, and your students are going to teach you about their culture just as much as you're going to be teaching them about different cultures. So I think that teachers just have to be really open about everything and willing to talk about anything under the sun that your students are interested in talking about. And that's a good way, I think, to bridge the gap between the students of different cultures and yourself. I think it takes a little bit of time to develop that trust, but once it's there, I think your students will open up to you and they'll be honest about things they do, their culture, where they come from. A year's a long time. I mean, you'll get to know your students, I think, fairly well by the end of the year, hopefully, as long as you open up that gateway for trust and for your students to be able to open up to you.